We back. So this is something new, like no other, and it's your dog, Big Dog, aka Bootleg Stat Man, and I'm acknowledging my entrepreneurs. I'm acknowledging the people that are black owned and that are helping push the economy forward. You know, we have an amazing guest, that will be here in a minute. I'm excited. This is the first interview of the year. We will have many more. This is Entrepreneur Acknowledgement. We're trying to acknowledge our entrepreneurs in our city, in the culture of entertainment, food, business, just the culture that's Florida. Now, Miami is a little more, when you're going into a little deeper dive. But we could do that too. You could dive deep. I'm with it if you with it, So this is dog Big Dog, aka Bootleg Stat Man, Entrepreneur Acknowledgement. And we have a guest that's gonna come on, and is gonna tell us about their business, some things about them that we didn't know. You're gonna learn something so wonderful about this person, and we're gonna hear them promote their business. You know, Natasha Wilson is her name, and she has some wonderful things she's done as a human being. So we're gonna tighten up, and we're gonna vibe, and we're gonna get into it when she get here. She'll be here in a splendid little hot minute. Tap in with your dog, Big Dog, aka Bootleg Stat Man, Entrepreneur Acknowledgement. And yeah. All right. We're gonna be back, man. We out. All right. Yo, like I was coming back with an entrepreneur, somebody in our community that's holding it down, and I'm back. I didn't lie to you. Without further ado, Tasha Wilson. How you doing?
Hey, hi everyone. How are you? My name's Natasha Wilson. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, but I moved to Florida from Atlanta. Um, and happy to be here. I've been here about 4 years. During these 4 years, I have opened about 3 businesses since being here. So Florida has been very good to me. I am the owner of Over the Top Business Services, in which I serve the community with taxes and credit and notary services. I have a weight loss clinic on University here in Sunrise, where I serve everyone who need weight loss needs, from detox cleansings and more. And then I have Mere Diagnostic Labs, where I help other facilities like Diagnostics and more with their labs and their urine tests, any DOT services like truck drivers. And then I'm also the owner of Sunset Strip Kreations, where I make my own treats. And they're now in 5 locations here in Sunrise, Florida, within the stores.
You say make your own treats, huh?
Yeah, so I do candy grapes, candy pineapples. I take the gushers and I make them into other different kind of candy, like cotton candy gushers or sweet and sour gushers. I just do different things with the fruit to make it taste good. So I make my own candy on it.
Wow. And so like how long you been like hustling? Like where does that come from? Like just that go getter mentality.
Being poor.
Being so you didn't see a auntie or a granny like just making it do what it do, like a candy house or anything that
No,
motivated you. So you just saying being poor just figured it out.
just I figured out every one of my businesses I figured out on my own. I didn't have good faith in people teaching me, so I went and learned on my own. I went to the IRS site. I go to all the IRS classes. I taught myself how to do taxes. I taught myself how to fix credit. Far as the candy, TikTok give you
Oh
everything.
yeah.
YouTube,
Shout out to TikTok.
YouTube
Yeah.
teach you everything. You
Mhm.
know, I'll just say the problem is we just don't read. So I
That's
don't
right.
watch TV. I don't watch TV at all. My Most of my time consists of reading or either I'm doing something within my business. Other than that, nothing else I do.
That's wonderful. And
Yeah.
and your first business, how old were you? First business you started?
My first bit 40.
Official business. 40. Oh,
40. I'm about to be 45. Well, I'll say about 39. It was right before I moved from Georgia. Georgia, I stayed, like I said, I'm from Memphis. So I moved from Memphis in 2010. I moved to Atlanta. And then, like I said, 4 years ago is where I moved from Atlanta. I also still work for a hospital in Atlanta. Um, I've been in healthcare for over 25 years since I graduated high school. So I haven't built the courage to like quit my W-2 job. You know, they said quit your W-2 job and you make more into your own business. Well, when I think is if you quit your W-2 job, there are more expenses. Like now you got to pay for your own health care and,
right.
things like that. So in a way, we kind of need that. So I still hold on to my W-2 employment as well.
That's smart. I mean, it makes sense that you can keep a steady income and
Mm-hmm.
also have enough time to pursue your own ambitions and your
Mm-hmm.
own dreams. I think that's smart. So, what inspired your whole business? Like what made you decide I want to do business other than being poor? That's being poor.
I mean, I got tired of other people shopping and I couldn't shop. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to, and then I got my kids. So it was times I had to tell my kids no. A lot of times I had to tell them no, mama can't do it right now. So my
Right.
kids kind of
That,
grew up.
that will make you want to get and figure
Yeah,
it out.
yeah. So my kids, I kind of had to raise them kind of fast because it was me or my children against the world. So I taught them that like it's me and you all. It's nobody else we can count on. So my daughter, she does the same thing. So she's with her dad in Memphis, Tennessee, but she also owns her own treat business in Memphis, Tennessee, in which we just getting her into stores as well. So I'm going there with her to move the freezers and everything into different locations for her there. So my kids are kind of like on the same road I'm on and still had that same mind, like it's us against the world, like it's nobody else.
Mm. So you say from Memphis, yeah? You say
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that Memphis upbringing.
It was hard. We were poor.
Mhm.
My dad, he was on drugs and we didn't really get to do much. We didn't really get to go anywhere. I didn't go anywhere till I was in my 20s. Honestly, Atlanta was my first road trip ever leaving out of Memphis when I was in my 20s. Like I said, that was in 2010. And when I went to go visit Atlanta, that was it. I was like, oh yeah, this it. Like I ain't never going back. When I go back, we packing. I left Memphis with 3 flat screen TVs, all 3 of my kids, and nothing but our clothes. And I quit my job of 10 years. We didn't even have a place to stay yet. We just got in the truck and I knew where I wanted to be. I knew that my 401k would be there and I knew that I had 2 more paychecks coming. So Memphis was so rough for me to where I was willing to. I didn't mind walking off. Like I
Yeah.
and even right now, like even in Florida, even though I have it together, if I have the urge to walk off, I will walk off. I don't mind starting over. I don't mind getting my life back on track. And if anything interrupt my peace, I'm gone.
Mm, okay.
My
That's
peace is
that's
very
that's
important.
amen. Amen. You know what? I'm gonna drop a bomb for that. That's important. I think
Yeah,
you value that, don't value things. Like, stuff.
yeah. You got to get your peace. You can't let nothing interrupt your peace. But the
Mhm.
thing is, a lot of us scared to move from state to state because we always say is, I got to keep my money together. Or I got to get myself together. Or what if I ain't got nowhere to live? Or what if I ain't got no job? But in my mind, it's like, but what if I never go?
Yeah.
If I never go, what can happen? If I had stayed in Memphis, there's no way I can meet this many people that I have. As many Hispanics, Haitians, Jamaicans, like in Memphis, we don't get that. We don't get that, we don't, it's not a lot of jobs. It's not a lot of people trying to build businesses. And if they are, it's all the same businesses, in which I get it, hey, may the best man win.
Right.
But I much rather for me to say may the best man win when it's a big diverse of people. Like n- not with me being in the same circle.
Right. So you just a bigger picture kind of girl.
Yeah, definitely that. My mind race, it go all the time, and I'm always thinking in different ways. Okay, if I don't get money this way, how can I get it this way? Because I'm also in a digital world. Like I have my own digital ebooks of different things. I had my own trucking dispatching service.
Right.
Like I said, that wasn't a peace of mind for me, so I don't have that service anymore. But I have an ebook to help people start those services. So a lot of services that I did start that wasn't a peace of mind for me, they became ebooks for me to teach others.
Mm,
Just because it wasn't for me doesn't mean it's not for you. So,
yeah.
you know,
That's smart. I think that's the level of entrepreneurship that I'm talking about. And ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Natasha Wilson.
mhm.
She came from Memphis, made her way to Atlanta, got a touch of that ATL,
Mhm.
and that was it. Now we got here sitting before you a woman who has just figured it out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And that's a beautiful thing. That's to be celebrated.
yeah. I had to figure it out. I was in a marriage, hey, my husband even went with me to Atlanta when we moved.
Hmm.
It didn't work out. And I started to think us as women, we give up so fast when it comes to relationships. Oh, we just done. We drained. We broke our heart. We crying. It took one cry. It took one drain. It took one steal. It took one mind. And that was it for me. That was my last cry. That was my last moment.
Mm.
And I, I'm just not crying no more.
That's again one of them things that a lot of times people just don't want to separate. And what you were saying about change, and a lot of people
Mhm.
not trying to do that. You know, the strength that you have, how does that translate with your children? You teach them all these different mental tactics to be happy, or do they struggle with letting go,
Um,
and how does that translate to the children?
Honestly, in the beginning, it was hard. They was
Mm,
kids, They don't really understand like how we understand. But now that they're grown and they out of the home, my youngest, she's 17. And now that they're all out of the home, now they call me like, yo, mom, I see what you was saying, especially my oldest. And he like, I know what you was saying now, mom. Yeah, Mom, I'm sorry. I don't think I want to be in Memphis now because he wanted to be in Memphis at first. Now it's like, I don't want to be in Memphis. I get exactly what you were saying now, Mom. Now my youngest son is the one, I used to will pull right and he'll still go left. And I'll pull right again and he'll still go left. Well, now when I pull right, he's going right.
Yeah.
So it took a minute. It take a minute for it to register. It took a minute for my daughter because she's the only girl. So we go through our stages with our young men and things like that. So now she's even like, Mom, can I talk to you about something? When at first I would have to pull out a hammer and be like, no, like talk to me. Like you can talk to me. Be open with me. Now it's very open. So I think with our children, they're afraid to be open with us with certain things, but we gotta fix it to where they can talk to us to be open to let us know if there are any mind issues or mental things where they're about to break down. So it was hard at first, but now they get it. Now they talk about credit. Now they talk about taxes. So, you know,
Man.
yeah,
So your advice to someone who have children would be like with the communication that should be at the forefront of the relationship.
absolutely. Communication is huge. I hear people say you got to spend time with your kids or how they going to know. I mean, for me, I feel like no matter how much time you spend with your children, when they get outside the home, it's a different mentality. It's a different mind they gotta have. It's a different way they communicate with their friends. So me, I communicate on both levels. Like we can communicate business wise, or we can communicate on the street level. Now, if I gotta talk to you on the street level, I'm gonna be 100. So that means that it might be some things you may not like, but this is really how life goes. And another thing I started to feel like a while ago is me sheltering my kids. I did. I sheltered them. I feel like I sheltered them too much though. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't learn a lot. They didn't go to other people's houses. I didn't do the whole go to other people's houses. Yeah, you can spend a night with Kiki and them for a couple of days, or I never let my kids go anywhere. I sheltered them. But as time went on and as they got older, I kind of feel like I kind of wish I had let them venture out just a little bit, because then they would know a little bit more about how other people interact, how other people attitudes change, or how friends may not be your friends. Like my
Mm-hmm.
friends didn't, my kids didn't learn that because I sheltered them from friends. They had friends, but they couldn't go around them like this. So it was like they didn't get to know that people change.
Right. So they was a little naive.
Yeah, they like, well, why they not like me? Why they so mean? Or they not gonna be like you, baby. You two different people in two different worlds, probably.
Right.
You know.
And they went to school in Memphis.
Yeah. So now they go to school in Memphis. They have went to school in Atlanta. And then, like I said, their dad, he's in Memphis. So when we moved to Florida, I tried the you can go stay with your dad, go to school, and then come back here 1 year and go to school with me. Well, compared to Florida and Memphis is behind. So my daughter would have been behind school wise if I had kept doing it. So she was ahead in Memphis, but behind in Florida.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to mess up her school year with her graduating. And so I'm letting her finish out the schooling there in Memphis. And then, just if she want to come back after she graduates, she can.
Man, Memphis, huh?
Yeah. Memphis, Tennessee.
So
And
let's
of
talk.
course,
Let's
everybody see it all over, the news and the blogs. Memphis a little rough.
yeah. I mean, it's rough everywhere, man. I mean, I don't get caught up in that, but far as your city, your town, Memphis, what are your favorite artists? Let's get into the entrepreneur vibe. What she listened to when she bumping her Memphis town, 8 Ball
Um,
MJG, or who you rocking from Memphis in your tape deck right now? In your yeah.
I'm old school, so my dad's a singer, and my brother played a band, played the drums for the Gap band.
Oh,
So
see that's it.
I am old school. I don't listen to a lot of rap or
Okay,
nothing
okay,
like
okay.
that. So, I'm still into the Temptations and my Al Green and my, I I can't get with some of the rap. I don't understand it.
So
But
even at coming up before it got like it is now, who did you listen to then?
A Ball MJG, Project Pat, 3 6 Mafia, um, Gangsta Boo, Lil Chat,
Chat, okay.
you know, even the beginning of Yo Gotti. Like I liked the beginning of Yo Gotti, not
Mm,
so much of some of his music now, because some of it, I'd be like, okay. And I like Glorilla, but I like her
yeah,
personality.
yeah.
I love her personality. Her music is it's okay. Like I said, I don't get some of the rap, so I dig more into personalities and how they are as a person, other than their music.
So what was your take on her sister speaking out about her not financially helping?
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't think that you should depend on somebody else. Coming from somebody like me, I may not be the right person to ask, because I'm a very dependable person. And in my eyes, if you grown, you can make it on your own. So, and if you can be disrespectful to your parents,
Mm.
you definitely can make it on your own. You don't need nobody if you did disrespectful to your parents. I don't care what you need somebody for. If you that disrespectful, you don't need nobody's help. So for that type of thing, that affected me actually in a way. I even blocked her on my timeline, paused her for about 30 days. Anything about her came down my timeline, because I do a lot of my business online. So
Mhm.
um, I blocked it out. Like I paused her. Don't come down my timeline, because how dare you expect for your sister to take care of y'all like that? Like even your mom and your dad, even though I love my mom and my dad, they still together to this day, 45 years.
Mhm.
And I take care of my parents when I can, or if I can in a moment. But to expect that is a different thing. Like no one should expect that. Not even your parents shouldn't even expect it. But if you do it, that's fine. So for me, with that type of conversation, like yeah, I went too king on that conversation right there. You know, especially when with the outbursts with the parents, outbursts on your sister. Okay, keep it on your sister. But when you get to degrading your parents, that's a different kind of crossing the line for me.
I mean, I just thought it was crazy to think that, she should be taken care of. But I thought it was always some kind of propaganda. I thought it was like a way for her to start, you know, catching her own little traction. And yeah, I think it worked, you
I
know.
mean, it did. It worked, but it didn't work in the right way. Like, why should we respect somebody who gets on there and embarrass their parents like that? You got the whole world talking about your parents when your parents was back in the day type of parents, like they were religious. Back in the day when they were religious, they didn't believe in abortions. They didn't believe in just walking off from a man. They let the man walk off from them. That's how she was able to accept that daddy was cheating this way, even though he wasn't taking care of home. So, like, yeah, if you're going to degrade the sister, I'm going to say, okay, just degrade the sister. Let's just come up off glow. But to degrade your parents and then get on there and cuss your mama out like that and get mad because she actually took up for the sister that is doing something for her. If you ask me, the mama did the right thing. I would have took up for the one who take care of me too. The world don't know what that girl going in her pocket doing for her parents. We only going about what we see, what we hear. We don't know this for real.
I mean, being that you the entrepreneur and you the breadwinner, so to speak, do people come at you in that manner? Like think that they supposed to get trinkets and discounts and so on and so forth because of your
not my family. Not my family. I've had other family members, trickle on down the line, outside of sisters and brothers and mom and daddy, outside of my family, intermediate family like this. Inside, it's 6 of us. It's 3 girls and it's 3 boys. I'm the oldest. My mom and dad been married 45 years, like I said. Outside our household, yes, maybe some cousins, maybe some aunties, may ask for a discount or maybe even expect more of me, which they don't now because I don't mind speaking my mind. I don't have to be rude to you to get my point across.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could be just as calm as I am now talking to you to get my point across to let you know that this is still my business. And you're going to respect that. But as far as my brothers and my sisters and my mother and my father, never. They never expect me to do nothing for them. I do it all on my own. Whatever I give, they accept. If I don't give, they okay with it.
Okay.
I never, that was my first time ever hearing something like that come from a person saying, you is obligated. No, we not. We not obligated. If I get up, if I can stay up all night, if I could cry, if I could get mad because people hadn't started investing in me or believing in me, that's mine.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Right.
So I think it's a different generation. I think people grow up differently, and some of this younger generation, like, they don't get it. They want it handed to them. Like I see it every day, even with me teaching. They want it handed to them. No one actually wants to work for it no more.
When you say teaching, what do you mean? Like what?
Anything. Like if they come to me for mentorship, they expect for it to be given to them freely, not paid for. It's like credit repair.
Mm-hmm.
People expect miracles. It's not a miracle. Now they expect miracles. I get it because online, but people be like, I can delete this in 2 to 3 weeks. But they don't know what these people doing behind the scenes to get it off in that 2 to 3 weeks. But it comes back in a year. When credit repair don't even work like that. You gotta have patience. It's a fight between me and the bureaus. We got a battle. I have to send those letters. They got to choose what they going to do to investigate. It's a battle. There is no promise. So for me, in any type of teachings, credit report was just an example, but for any type of teachings, they just want to hand it to them. I see in the tax world, people want to learn how to do taxes. I don't mind teaching you how to do taxes, but they got a bad motive on why they want to learn how to do taxes, because
Mm.
so many people out here just robbing the IRS, don't know the real reason why taxes even exist or what we even got to go through for it. You must pay into these people to get money back. You can't just do my taxes. Okay. I tell you, you got $69 back. Well, all that work I did, they don't go like that. You got to give these people some money. People got the wrong motive about taxes. They want to jump in the tax field to go out here, and then Lord forbid, all the tax preparers going to jail now. Why? Because that's the new thing everybody coming in doing. Just stealing. Not me. I don't mind telling you to get you another preparer. Get you somebody else to do it.
You say people be stealing? What you mean?
Man, they put everything on these returns. I mean, I know you see in the blog preparers going to jail, like this is true. These preparers are outrageous. I don't even want to be in the tax field hardly anymore because they have contaminated the field so much. I used to love what I do, but the fact that they have contaminated it with getting money, which we all know what getting money is. You know what I mean? They done contaminated it with getting money, but instead of getting money the right way. It's okay to get money the right way.
Now, let's be honest. Some of the viewers and people who might understand what I understand, they might not comprehend. You got to kind of break it down because
I, they oh trust me, they know more than you think.
okay. I mean,
And they know more than you think. Not only that, let's talk about on these taxes where everybody want to be an entrepreneur.
mm,
I got a side job.
mm,
No, you don't. You got a hobby.
right,
If you putting it on there every year and you driving it out with these expenses, the IRS consider that as a hobby.
right.
It's not good that you putting a business on your taxes. If you're not paying in during the year, at the end of the year, you owe these people.
Right.
But people have in their mind that, can you put that I did her? Yeah, I can put you did her. You got proof?
Right.
Where's your proof? And that's why the IRS is cracking down on all these people that do hair. They do nails, they're a mechanic, they cut hair, they work, they're tech. Anything else they done pretty much made up. That's why they cracking down right now. So, that's on the tech side.
And you say you saw it on the blogs where tax preparers were going to jail?
Oh yeah, it's all over. It's everywhere. That's nothing new or none of that. It was a man just recently on the news said a tax preparer took his did his taxes and now he owed 12,000. Guess what? He knew what that tax preparer put on there for him to end up owing that $12,000. But the problem be, they never admit or own up or accept accountability to going to that tax preparer saying, just give me some money.
So basically, when you trying to get a little more than what's okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
Come on
because
now. When was the last time they gave out $12,000 tax returns, $20,000 tax returns? If you see that now today, they put something on there for that.
that's true. I agree.
The last time we had big checks like that was the pandemic, when they was giving out big bucks.
Yeah.
That's been gone. If you see anything like that right now to this day, they put some on there.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people feel like they missed out on that
Yeah.
pandemic money.
Well, you know, it was a lot of people who did deserve it, didn't get it
Mm,
because it was burnt up by the people who didn't deserve it.
mm.
So the people who really did deserve it couldn't get it. They rejected it because they gave all the money to the ones who weren't supposed to get it.
Those are some wild times.
Yeah. But if you think about it, slowly, every year, they get somebody that went and mess with that money. They get on one by one. No matter if you took the money, it don't matter how many years they go back, they can look at you.
Yeah.
If you touch these people money, they have the right to constantly look at you. That ERC money, where the companies, where they were giving out that big $100,000 checks for these big, they had to cut that out. Why? Everybody start lying like they had a big company.
Mm.
But the people who deserve it couldn't get it because the people who didn't deserve it went got it.
I guess that go back to like the tax preparer thing. I guess everybody was finagling to try to get some because wasn't nobody getting no money at that time. So I mean, it was dog eat dog at that time.
Exactly. Exactly. And I get it. You know, times be hard. You know, yes, we tired of struggling and all of that. But to have the police knocking at your door, I'm pretty sure that ain't a good feeling.
Nah, you right.
I'm pretty sure. And every time I see somebody in handcuffs walking away talking about taxes, I'll be like, well, what they say they touched, I don't care. Even if it's right, I don't even want to touch it. I don't care if it's right or in no type of way. I don't want to touch it. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it's just so much going on out here today. I just encourage people to read. You know, even for the ones who said, well, I didn't know my tax preparer did that. That's your cue to read.
Yeah.
The IRS have an ID me account. It's for a reason. Everything that happens to you is in that account. You lose a W-2, look in that account. But people just won't read. They just be like, here, do this.
That's true.
And then come back and be like, well, what this say? I've done several tax returns where I do their return, it get accepted. I send it to the people. Once I send it to them, I got a big, nice paragraph with big, pretty colors in it. Then give them their refund and say it take 21 days for processing, up to. But could take 2 weeks. They'll send me a message the next day and say, how much is my refund amount? And when I'm going to get a date?
Right.
It's right there. It's right there in the email. Everything you just asked me. And they really get mad at me for saying, my clients know me now. I said quick, I had one guy say, okay, I'm finna go read. Yeah, because you know what I'm finna say. You know exactly what I'm finna say. You better get off my phone.
Right. So sometimes you got to take it there with them.
Yeah, and I do. And they know me now. And that's why I love doing what I do. I love people. I love educating people. Some people actually don't understand until you get harsh with them.
And they know you now.
And they know me. If I say, they'll be like, okay, all right, Miss T. All right, Miss T, I'm finna go read. Okay, now after you read, if you don't understand what you gonna do, I'm gonna call you back. All right, go read. They never read, and that's why they don't know what's going on.
That's
They
right.
just pass you the paperwork and said, "Do this."
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing. I will say that they understand that you let me make sure I don't run that let me put can I put that in the background? No, you full screen. I think that's about it. But yeah, like so that's this is ladies and gentlemen, let me be clear. Miss Natasha is a real one. She keeping it real on all aspects of entrepreneurship and all aspects of getting your money without doing the illegal thing. Ain't nobody gonna get you no $12,000 and think she gonna be able to walk scot free. You know what I'm saying? They coming with the handcuffs. But like I say, I want to say so. Miss Natasha has been doing taxes and what you say how for how long about what
5 years.
5 years
Mm-hmm.
and she's really just all around hustler and that Memphis accent is strong. Yeah, I still hear it. It's slow and I do.
Yeah, I hear that all the time, and so I used to try to straighten it up until I kept going, and
I mean,
once
I
it's in
think
you,
it's.
it's in you. You know what I mean? It is. It's just there. It's all about how you handle yourself with it. That's it.
I think that some of the most rich accents, but they're beautiful accents, is like somewhere in that Louisiana, New Orleans area, and Memphis. It's a beautiful thing. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it is. So I thank you so much for having me um here today. I normally don't do interviews because I be real nervous. But I'm that is one of my goals to overcome is doing interviews and presentations to people. I even put myself in classes like Toastmaster classes to
Mhm.
try and make myself good with presentations and how to present to people. And because sometimes coming from down south, I accent to make things sound rude when it's not.
Right.
So it's some things I had to work on within myself. So I'm just gonna say to you all, just always accept accountability to how you are as a person. Like no matter what someone say to you or how they try to guide you, just accept yourself as an accountability partner. Look in that mirror, do your reflections. I do a lot of
Mhm.
reflections. I do a
Yeah.
lot of reflections on myself, even as a woman in relationships. I do reflections.
Mhm.
So, and that's something most of us don't do. We don't do reflections. We just say, well, I'm like this, and this is how I am, and you gonna accept me or not. No, go do a reflection. You
So
you can
elaborate on that. When you say reflections, what do you mean?
do a reflection on yourself. Attitudes, you know. Um, when I was younger, I used to ask myself, why I have certain kind of issues with my man.
Hmm.
I had to go and not accepting all of it as a whole is my problem or taking accountability for, but now let me go and see am I the problem?
Oh, okay.
Let me go. I'm finna go think about what I just did, and I'm gonna see if I am the problem.
Right.
So, but when I couldn't determine if I was the problem, I honestly went to go to counseling. I went to go talk to somebody who I knew didn't know friends of mine or
Mhm.
family of mine to talk about me.
Yeah.
So I went to go speak to a counselor, and I'm like, let me ask you something, because I feel like I'm right when I do this, and this. To hear somebody else say, no, you really weren't right. You weren't just all the way wrong, but you was definitely not right. It feels good to hear that come from somebody else other than your friends or your mother or even your mate. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, now I know I was wrong. Somebody else said I was wrong. And I started to do reflections on my own self, my own attitude, how I carry myself as a woman. If I ain't want a thug, then I wouldn't carry myself around a lot of thugs in a thug way. I know that I got to come business professional if I want a business professional man. So I had to change how I dress. We have to think about how we carry ourselves as a woman to attract the type of men that we want. Not need, but want. Because we know we don't need a man. What we do, we don't know how to change a tire or, pick up a hammer, maybe get a wrench or, the manly things. But it feels good for a man to lead. And I used to have a problem with a man leading me.
And how did you deal with that?
I started my reflections.
Right.
I started my reflections. When my man that I knew that I wanted to keep walked away because he said, you don't listen to me. You do what you want to do. All you do is have an attitude. Like he just couldn't tolerate me. But that was who I wanted. I knew then I'm going to work on myself. Now, granted, he probably could have had his own issues, but I wanted to find out what was mine as a woman. Okay, after this, what do I need to do next to make this different? And I did that. I used to wear my little hood hairstyles, dress in my hood way all the time. I didn't put on a suit. I feel like a suit wasn't for me. Once I started switching my ways and switching how I talk and presenting myself more womanly, you attract what you are.
Wow.
So, and most women don't see it that way.
And you in this relationship, you are still thriving in this relationship. You're still together.
Yes, we definitely still in this relationship. We're going on 9 years now. I haven't been in a lot of relationships in my life. Since high school, I pretty much deal with the same man. I'm not a get out there type of girl. I get out there with my man and party with my own man. But other than that, all of my relationships been long, 15 years to 9 years. I don't deal with a lot of men. So, yeah, we're still there. We hanging in there. We going 9 years now.
Well, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
That's definitely something to drop a bomb on. Love.
Yeah, I had to learn when you get mad, go in the other room. Go on in the other room. Just go shut the door and shut up.
Right, there you go. Well, so in closing, we want to thank you, but we want to ask you, what advice would you give to someone who wanted to start their own business and become an entrepreneur? What would you tell somebody?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. I mean, if you scared, I don't think the people gonna like, how you gonna know the people don't like? Right. If you don't go for it, how would you know what the people would like? In my candle treating business, I've had people tell me I don't like that kind. That's just that one person didn't like that kind. But guess what? It's 30 more who did. So in anything you want to do, you is easy to learn. All the information out there. You don't have to pay no one. But my line is always open to help anyone that's around me. And yes, freely. I am free with advice and teaching and guiding. You can look me up. My name is Natasha Wilson. On Facebook, most of the time, most people have to type in Natasha Wilson with Memphis behind it for me to come up. But like I said, I own over-the-top business services, Sculpted Serenity Weight Loss Clinic here on University, Mere Diagnostics, that's my lab, and then also Sunset Strip Kreations, which was created on Sunset Strip in Sunrise, Florida, to give me that reminder of this is how I started in Sunrise, Florida. So if you need me, I'm always here, and I'm ready when you're ready. But be ready when you come to me, because I'm going to tell you you can do it.
Look at that. I like the sound of that. That is a beautiful thing to me. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Our first episode with the phenomenal, the wonderful, the great Tasha Wilson, entrepreneur extraordinaire.
Thank you.
What I'm saying? Doing big business. And you know what I want to say? It is refreshing to hear you speak on your relationship and being able to reflect and understanding that pride is the serpent in the garden of love. You figured it out.
Yeah. So, just go with discernment. The older we get, the more wiser we become. So I feel myself just like my grandmother and grandfather, and now my mother and father. So just go with your own discernment and never doubt yourself. Just never doubt yourself. Never.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It is your dog, Big Dog, aka Bootleg Stat Man. It's Entrepreneur Acknowledgement, and we out of here.
Peace.
Hey there, community members. Welcome to Jazz Cafe, where every month we aim to bring our community closer together. Back in 2022, we had this simple idea. Why not serve our community on Thanksgiving and share our blessings? After all, what's better than good food and great company? So, on Thanksgiving Day, we opened our doors and invited everyone to join us. We served up some delicious Southern comfort food. And let me tell you, seeing the joy on everyone's faces was absolutely priceless. Marquis, one of our founders, said, "Why stop here? Let's do this every month." And just like that, our monthly community service was born. Now, every third Saturday, we come together to serve our community. It's not just about the food, though. It's about connecting, sharing stories, and celebrating the spirit of giving. Driven by our faith and the belief that giving is better than receiving, we've seen our community grow stronger and more united. It's amazing what a shared meal can do. We're so grateful to all of you who join us each month. Your smiles and stories inspire us to keep going. So, if you haven't been to one of our community meals yet, come on down. Let's share in the blessings, enjoy some great food, and most importantly, let's come together as a community. Thank you for being a part of our journey. See you on the third Saturday. Stay blessed, and remember, at Jazz Cafe, we're all family.